In the quiet corners of the natural world, beneath the canopy of trees, alongside mossy stones, and tucked against cool walls, life persists in gentle light. Here, in the soft cradle of shade, some of the most aromatic, medicinal, and flavorful herbs grow not only well, but better than they would in the harsh blaze of the sun. Today, we uncover one of gardening's most overlooked truths. Not all herbs need full sunlight. In fact, some crave shade, where their oils concentrate, their leaves deepen in flavor, and their growth becomes lush and vibrant. This is the hidden power of shade. In nature, many herbs evolved under the protection of forest edges and tree canopies. They're adapted to filtered, indirect light, cooler soil temperatures, higher humidity, and gentler evaporation. Unlike sun-demanding plants, shade herbs prioritize leaf production over flowering, meaning they stay fresher, softer, and far more flavorful. When placed in full sun, these herbs often burn or yellow, become bitter, dry out quickly, or bolt prematurely. But in shade, they thrive, offering gardeners a secret advantage. You can grow premium quality herbs even in low-light spaces. In the wild, mint creeps along forest floors and riverbanks, thriving in cool, sheltered places. Shade prevents mint from drying out, allowing it to produce thicker, juicier leaves bursting with essential oils. Cooler temperatures intensify its refreshing aroma. And just a quick tip, always grow mint in containers because it spreads aggressively. Parsley is naturally adapted to understory conditions in the Mediterranean. When grown in shade, parsley develops thicker stems, darker leaves, and a richer, earthier flavor. Full sun makes it bolt quickly, so shade extends its lifespan dramatically. Few herbs dislike heat as much as cilantro. In full sun, it shoots up flowers within just a few weeks, but in shade, it stays leafy and tender much longer. Shade, actually slows its internal clock, preserving that bright, citrusy aroma. A relative of mint, lemon balm really thrives with cool roots and gentle light. Shade prevents leaf scorching and, honestly, enhances the plant's natural lemon scent. It's ideal for teas, salads, and calming remedies. The aroma is, strongest when grown out of direct sun. Chives, they can definitely handle the sun, but honestly, they really excel in the shade. With lower light, the leaves stay thin, soft, and just deliciously mild, absolutely perfect for garnishing. Plus, the soil stays cool, and chives remain evergreen for a much longer time. Sorrel's natural home is actually the woodland edge. In the shade, its leaves stay plump and tangy, with this really bright lemon flavor that's just so refreshing. In full sun, sorrel can become bitter, but in cool shade, it stays sweet. While a lot of folks think oregano is just a full sun herb, there are actually woodland varieties that really thrive with partial shade. In dappled light, oregano tends to grow denser, more aromatic, and even less woody. It becomes a softer, fresher herb than the kind you'd get from plants grown in full sun. So here's something interesting. Sweet woodruff is actually one of the very few herbs that really needs shade to do well. It forms this fragrant, soft green carpet, and the scent is kind of like fresh hay mixed with vanilla. Folks use it for tea, potpourri, and even as a lovely ground cover. Honestly, this herb is a hidden jewel of shade gardening. A shade garden isn't actually dark. It's more like it's softly illuminated. It takes advantage of indirect light, reflected light, and even filtered light that comes through branches or maybe a pergola. So let's talk about the best shade types for herbs. There's dappled shade, which is those moving patterns of sun that dance through the leaves. Then there's bright shade, which is basically an open area that never gets direct sun. Partial shade means you get about 2 to 4 hours of morning sun. And don't forget about north-facing walls. They offer gentle, steady light all day long. Alright, here are a few tips to help your shade herbs really thrive. First, use high-quality, loose soil. Since shade usually means higher moisture, well-draining soil is key to prevent root rot. Second, water lightly but consistently, because shade-loving herbs like steady moisture, not soaking wet conditions. And third, trim your herbs regularly. Frequent harvesting actually encourages them to grow lush and bushy. Alright, so, here are a couple more tips for your shade garden. First, try adding reflective surfaces, like white walls, light-colored stones, or even mirrors, to help bounce light gently into those shaded corners. And, oh, don't forget to avoid over-fertilizing. Shade herbs can actually get a bit leggy if you feed them too heavily. So, what makes shade-grown herbs so flavorful? Well, when a plant receives less sunlight, it actually compensates by storing more essential oils in its leaves instead of burning energy on flowers and seeds. This results in richer aromas, intensified flavors, and longer-lasting freshness. It's really the culinary secret chefs rarely share, but gardeners can experience it right at home. Even if you have a balcony, a narrow side yard, a shaded porch, a dim courtyard, or a tree-covered garden, you can still grow some of the tastiest herbs imaginable. Shade is not a limitation. It's actually a hidden ecosystem, filled with possibilities. And the herbs that grow there? Well, they grow with a quiet resilience and a depth of flavor that sunlight alone can never produce.